Jeffrey R. Holland told me he saw Jesus of Nazareth himself. Here's the story. Formerly known to me as a living, breathing apostle in the Mormon Church, of which I was a member at the time, he's now more known to me as a delusional gymnast historian, twirling and jumping around the difficulties of Mormon history while preaching falsehoods. I had just returned from my mission in 2011. I served in Argentina, Rosario, from 2009 to 2011. I had just come home September 2011. So this conference in Spokane, Washington was late 2011 or early 2012. I'm not 100% sure about that. My memory fails me. So as a devout Mormon at the time, just recently returned from my mission, I was stoked, to say the least, to go see Elder Holland. I had seen his talk right after I got to the MTC. I saw that talk that everyone knows that just blew everyone away. And it moved me, and it's still a moving speech if you listen to it. So anyway, this man was kind of my idol. I looked up to him a lot for his speaking ability, his passion, the spirit that he carried with him. And so I really wanted to go to see him speak at this. It was a young adult devotional in Spokane, Washington, and I got there 3 hours early because I wanted to secure a front row seat to see him speak. And finally, the time comes when Elder Holland arrives. He comes in, and it was the closest I'd ever been to him. So I was really excited. I remember seeing that he wore a really nice gold watch, which kind of took me aback a little bit because I was very Christian. I was very familiar with the New Testament and the message of that corpus of literature. And to see this supposed living, breathing apostle of Jesus wearing this gaudy gold watch, it set me aback. So anyway, he goes on to speak about, and I don't think you can record in these meetings. Maybe you can, maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think any recordings were made of this meeting. So unfortunately, I think you just have my word at the moment of this speech, of what he said. And if you were to investigate and do an enormous effort to talk to all the young adults that went there, they'll back me up on this. And maybe this didn't strike them as much as it did me, but it may have. But they may remember going to the meeting. It did happen. He begins the talk by saying how important this time is, how we need to up our game as young adults, kind of comparing us to more Book of Mormon figures like Moroni, if I remember correctly, just saying we need to up the ante, So this was his main thrust of the speech, and he goes on toward the end to say that he saw Jesus himself. And this is what I remember clearly. I even actually tweeted about it a few months back. I did write it down somewhere in my journal. I'll try to look for that. I actually didn't. I should have looked for that before I made this video. If I find it, I'll make another video just showing my notes of it. A little historical record of that talk. But he clearly said this: "Before I was an apostle, I bore witness of Jesus Christ. Now, as an apostle, I am a witness of Jesus Christ." That's more or less word for word what this man said. Maybe you can't say more or less word for word, because word for word is like word for word. But I mean, that's what he said. Almost, to a maybe 95% degree of accuracy. Hopefully, this has some significance to you. It's not often that we see these leaders of the Mormon Church going around saying that they've seen Jesus of Nazareth as a resurrected, glorified being, right? They don't say that often. I'm sure if you look back in the annals of Mormon history, you could find maybe some prophet, some leader of the church that has said this, but it's not very common. They don't say it every conference. So I figured I'd share with you my experience of when Mr. Holland did say this.